Week, we're here. I mean, we never know what's going to happen. This is the kind of show that anything can happen at any time. People are going to be walking in. Here from the commentary team, and also a former fighter, maybe a fighter again one day. I'd love to see you fight again, but it's glad to have you. I think that might happen one day.
Yeah.
That would be awesome. A lot of the fighters, though, they would love that. You make that purse every week, and you have a good time. So, as a fighter, let's just get right. What's that difference for you? We have guys making their debut on this card. They might want to know that.
So when you say what's the difference, you mean what's the difference in this compared to other?
It's probably a quicker pace when you're in there. What
Absolutely.
else can you speak on?
I just remember how different I felt it was when you were sports. It feels like fighting it's more of an athletic contest. You have a boxing match. That could be a little bit more out there and try to outpoint the guys. I'm going to go out there and try and knock this guy's head off. This is as close to realistic of a fight as you can get. And so I'm going to throw this uppercut. And then as soon as you see somebody with a bare knuckle rear back to throw, you're like, no. And I don't think a lot of people really understand that. I think, he's had 100 fights. Yeah, but they're a little bit different.
Well, we saw that with taking on Reggie Barnett Jr. And Chop, like 85 pro fights. The guy's been around. He's done everything. He's amazing. He's a legend. But he's never done take you to learn when you got in the squared circle for the first time.
It probably took me about 2.5 rounds before I really felt like, okay, I got this. And then we, like you say, it's all Paige. It took her 4 rounds. So I think it's somewhere between 1 to 3 rounds before usually people kind of, okay, now I see.
First time, again, talking about Chop Corley. He's going to be on in a little while. Hope he coming on the podcast.
Yeah.
Making his debut. This guy's been through all these professional fighters. He's fought everyone.
Oh, yeah.
12 rounds of Floyd. Are nerves different than a normal fight because you've never done it?
I mean, I wouldn't say necessarily different. You should have nerves before every fight if you're fighting something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And even if you're supposed to win, all of a sudden, people are going to talk bad about me. What's wrong with Chris? He didn't beat them in the first round. This guy was terrible. So you have a lot of different pressures you put on yourself. It won't be different until you get in and you're like, what the hell's going on for a minute? But like I said, some people take to it very quickly. Dat Win did. And I think his 7th fight.
Well, Reggie, I think he's one of the most winning fighters we have here. I believe that.
He's had 5 wins.
Yeah.
I think he's 5-1. I think
5-1, I believe.
It's intriguing. If this is a boxing match, I don't think it's intriguing. Or if Chop's had, 6 fights in bare knuckle, probably not.
And he was an Olympic boxer.
It makes sense. But
even also like it is now. I don't towards whoever.
No matter what you do, it's kind of funny to see. So you got to know there's my resume. I got to try. So here, and I got a call, and he said, "Can we?" No, there's been planned for like a year. So people,
2 in 1
I had to go like, I'm just kidding. I know. So you couldn't even days and see how it goes. Because I said, yeah, I'd like to do it. And he's like, you probably shouldn't. So I said, okay, I'm going to give it 3 honest days. I went in there and went hard. First day I felt good.
Yeah.
Second day I was kind of hurting. Yeah. So I went in there, I worked real hard the second day, and I got done with that. And like, I couldn't really get through it like I wanted to. I had to make a couple excuses. And then my body hurt too bad to even do much the third day. It just didn't go well. So I was like, you know what? I got to do this, 6 days a week for 6 weeks. Yeah. I can't get through that. You know what I mean?
That's good you're honest.
And I'm not going to come in here and not train the way I know. I mean, because I'm not the greatest, but I just train hard and work hard. And if I can't do that, I don't know if I could. I don't want to come in here and disrespect myself for the sport by not competing like I want. You know what I mean?
Appreciate that. That's good stuff.
But I mean, maybe if I can get on some growth hormone or some tests, I'll be back.
Man.
You know what I mean?
You got any big now?
I don't know.
I
don't think the beach is over there. I don't really think the growth hormone makes you bigger. I think it just makes you be able to train days in a row. You know what I mean? And I don't think people, they hate on the guys who are in their 40s who, pop positive for stuff. I'm like, they're not trying to get an unfair advantage. They're just trying to get even. You know what I mean? They're trying to be able to train is all they're really trying to do. So.
Is it hard for you to sit next to the squared circle, commentate, knowing that you would like to be
in there? I'm mad about the fact that they didn't have that the sport 5 years earlier.
Yeah.
Because I'd have been all about it, you know what I mean? So, like I said, there's always a possibility if the price is right. So.
That's right. Cha-ching, man. Cha-ching. I'll throw us. We'll even do a GoFundMe for that. We'll set one up.
I'm in.
So let's talk about the fight coming up tomorrow night. There's so much going on. The main event, Joe Elmer, Leonard Bad Boy Garcia. Going to be a banger. These guys don't know how to back up. I'd love to hear your analysis of what you think is going to happen.
I mean, this has definitely got Fight of the Night written all over.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's so good when you get to sit there and actually talk to the fighters and do our interviews beforehand.
Because people don't realize that. I'm sorry, people don't realize that. You and Sean sit there and you go through and you make notes. You interview every fighter so you can really get their mentality. You've talked to Joe already, right?
We've talked to Joe and Leonard.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So just seeing what's their mindset and what they're thinking. Yeah, I mean, this is going to be a great fight. You know, both guys are very well known for coming forward. Joe Elmore's displayed a lot of power in his fights. I mean, that's been the main thing, and he's willing to trade and take one to give one, and that's always been Leonard. Like Leonard's, you know, he gets in there and he gets hit, and he just turns into a brawler and makes it a technical brawl, and so. You know, but both guys have typically had very good chins. Joe, I don't think, has ever been knocked down, he says.
No,
so.
Joe says, he always says he will give $1,000 to anyone out there that can find a video online of him being knocked out with a punch. He's said it numerous times. He's never been knocked out.
Yeah. I mean, not knocked out. I mean, knocked down. So, I mean, you know, and Tom Schoaf landed a lot of good punches, had him cut open bad, but every time he landed a good punch, Tom went down. It was, you know, so.
And Tom would shake his head like he was frustrated.
He wasn't hurt bad, but that power was there.
Yeah.
It knocked him to the ground, you know what I mean? So it was he's a legitimate heavy-handed puncher. If he hits you, you're in trouble. So but Leonard's had a good chin. You know, I talked to him. I didn't realize as much as last fight when he got hit. It was like right in the eyeball, and that really, he couldn't see right. Then you know, I've had that happen before. We get poked in the eye, and it was in one of my bare knuckle fights, and you just can't see for, you know, the 30 seconds, and that's terrifying. You know what I mean? Like, you start trying to clinch and do things because if you can't see and the guy's hitting you, you're probably going to get knocked out.
30 seconds in there is like 2 rounds almost, you feel like. When it's seriously, all the stuff you have to do. I poked myself, I'm not kidding, on the airplane in the eye, and I was down for like the whole flight. I was like, so I can't imagine being in a fight and doing that. And that's the thing people don't think about.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't, I mean, and usually the people aren't getting poked with fingers very much. It's like a knuckle that's hitting you. You know what I mean? And so that knuckle hits you right in the eye. It's like, damn, I can't see well for a minute. And it takes you a while. That's where that skill comes into play. We have to, you know how to slip and evade, move, and kind of lateral movement. And if you just sit there and freeze up and start throw punches, you're probably going to get dropped.
Now, we talked about Chop and Reggie. That's going to be an interesting fight as well. A lot of great fights on this card coming up tomorrow. You can watch it, of course, on the BKTV app at bkfc.com. And the other thing I want to talk about is for you. I mean, you've watched this. You're a former professional fighter. What fight are you looking most forward to tomorrow? Because there's a lot of good ones, man.
Wow. Yeah, like you said, I mean, you know, if you want a good technical fight, you're going to see Adams versus Bobo.
Yeah.
You know, AJ, you know, former champ. And just talking to him, you can tell he feels slighted. You know, he feels like I was the first champ and I don't get any love. They don't, you know, I've been away for a long time and, you know, he's pissed. You know what I mean? So I think you're going to see some really, really good exhibition of what he, you know, like the sweet side. So I think he's going to really be evasive. He's going to try and do whatever he can. He's not going to put on a war. He's going to put on a technical fight. Bobo wants to put on a war.
I was talking to Bobo.
Yeah.
I saw Bobo in the lobby the other day. I said, "How you doing?" He first words out of his mouth, he goes, "That wasn't me who fought Sam Shoemaker." He said, "I'm in a different mindset." I could tell in his eyes he was ready to go. So I'm excited for that fight too. A lot of great fights, Chris. And goes Chris Lido from Lights Out with Chris Lido podcast on with us. And also our BKFC commentary team alongside Sean Wheelock. I have a fun time working with you guys behind the scenes. Yeah. And the car rides to and from the events.
We have good conversations.
Yes, we do. A lot of fun. A lot of fun. So I appreciate you coming on with us, Chris. I mean, stick around. If you want to come back on later, we're more than have you. It's happy to have you here. We have Chop Corley coming on any minute now, so stay tuned for that, and we'll be back with more from BKFC 16 Fight Week. No telling what could happen here. Enjoy your Tiger life. Cheers.
Oh, so good.
Tiger life is not about race or religion, black or white, young or old, male or female. It's not about where you live or where you're from. It's about finding your why in life. Tiger life is a way of life. It's a purpose, a light, the future. We all have a story to tell, so let's tell it. It's time to be heard. Just remember, we may not be able to rewrite our story, but we sure as hell can change the ending. Tiger Life. Energy never tasted so good.
Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship 16 live Friday, March 19th. Watch as Leonard Bad Boy Garcia aims to end the undefeated streak of Joe Hitman Elmore. And Chop Corley takes on the educated hands of Reggie Barnett. Plus, former heavyweight champ Arnold Adams returns to face Bobo O'Bannon. Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship 16, Friday, March 19th, 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific, only on the Bare Knuckle TV app. Download it now, bkfc.com.
Hey, it's Brian Sosha back again. This is like guerrilla radio today, guerrilla filming, guerrilla YouTube stuff, because it's just going. People just keep coming in. We're live at Fight Week. We look forward to this. It's like the adrenaline's going already. You can feel it through the lobby with the fans walking around the town of Biloxi, Mississippi. That's where we're live at. Big fight coming up tomorrow night, BKFC 16. You get that BKTV app at bkfc.com. If you haven't subscribed yet, go do that and get involved. Right here, half of the co-main event. He's a legend. I'm happy you're sitting next to me. Chop Corley hanging out with us, and you're going to fight Reggie Barnett Jr., but you've done so much in your career. I want to talk about that stuff today. Number one, you've had a ton of fights. And I was talking to Chris Lytle about this. I don't know if you heard it or not, but how do you feel that your boxing, your former professional boxing experience, you're a champ, I mean, you've done it all. How's that going to work for you or against you? Speak on that a little bit coming up tomorrow night.
I have the advantage. I'm coming in here with 85 professional fights. I can set in the pocket. I can slip. I can exchange. Reggie's going to punch me. He's going to hit me in my face, but that ain't going to do nothing but turn me up even more.
Getting hit in the face. So you're ready. You're ready for a battle.
I love to fight.
I know you do. I've seen you fight. You fight with an amazing passion. That's why we're glad to have you. You're making your BKFC debut, man. So why bare knuckle for you? I mean, you've done so much. Is this just another challenge for you?
It's another challenge for me, but I haven't had a fight in almost 3 years. March 29th was my last fight in Canada. I moved up to welterweight. Can't get a fight because the promoters and managers don't want to take a risk putting their fighters in there with me at 135 pounds or even 140 pounds. I'm a risk, and there's an upset that could happen.
I got it. Look, I want everybody to hear what you're saying, so do me a favor. Pull your chair up a little closer to the mic. I want Chop Corley to be heard, man. This guy's a former champion. He deserves a legend. And, you know, we have you on the show. I want to talk more about you. You've had so many wins. You've done so much, like we said. And you said promoters may be a little scared. Not here at BKFC. We're excited to have you. We're excited to see what you can do. And Reggie Barnett, he's a veteran, man. I was saying to Lido, he is the most winningest, if that's a word, fighter in BKFC that I can see. He's got a great record. He called himself in the interview the OG of bare knuckle. He's been around so long, and you're basically new to this. So he was wondering if you're going to be able to have on-the-job training, how quick it's going to take you to learn it when you get in there.
As soon as he hit me in my face.
The first shot.
And when he hit me in my face, you're going to see a different fight.
So you just got to taste it a little bit to get going.
Once the guy say knuckle up, I'm ready.
You're ready. I know you are.
But I'm going to change once he punched me in my face.
So how do you see the fight going as you visualize this fight? I mean, what's your thoughts on how it's going to unfold?
There's a couple of visions I see the fight going. I can hit Reggie with a check hook and get it over within 3 seconds. Or Reggie can just try to box, and I can apply pressure, and we can go into an exchange, and I can finish with a right uppercut, or I can finish with a right hook.
So you got it all planned out. Now, as far as we talked on the phone when we were scheduling some stuff, you were, of course, cooking. I don't remember what you were cooking. Something. It sounded good.
Chop Kitchen.
Chop's Kitchen. That should be a reality show. And you mentioned, I believe you said on the phone call, and I think you said in an interview as well, that when I mentioned your cooking, you said something about Reggie. What did you say to me?
I'm going to cook Reggie.
You're going to cook his ass?
I'm going to cook his ass like fried chicken.
Yeah? So when you say that, and I'm talking to Reggie, he's saying that, like, you're saying that, but he took this fight, he's saying he could have denied you the fight, and basically you're in there with him, and he's going to get respect out of you. Is that fair to say?
I may respect him. It all depends on what type of fight he brings to the table. If he want to box and move and run, I'm not going to respect you for that because that ain't what this is. This is fighting, bare knuckle fighting, not bare knuckle boxing.
You're right. You know, he said the same thing to me last night. That got me even more, because you had said that to me, and I was interviewing Reggie last night off live camera, just a side interview we were doing, and he mentioned the same thing. It's fighting. It's not boxing. It's fighting. I think he feels the same way about you from your boxing background, that you might think it's more boxing, but you're prepared to come in. I mean, you've been training for bare knuckle. You're not doing boxing training, right?
Right. No, I've been training for bare knuckle. But my fight is going to bring to the table is I'm going to set right in front of Reggie, and I'm going to let my hands go. I'm not going to do a lot of movement. I'm 46 years old. I ain't got time to run around the ring. I can just sit in the pocket and let my hands go.
Let your hands go. So your hands versus the educated hands of Reggie Barnett Jr. It's going to be a fun fight to watch, man. Co-main event here. And you'd mentioned when we were filming some stuff the other day, you had your kids with you and all, and yeah, she was saying there's cameras everywhere, Dad. This is like Showtime boxing and stuff. It was exciting for you to be back in the limelight, back in the spotlight. It's been a while for you. So speak on that. I mean, being back in the spotlight, coming up tomorrow night, BKFC 16, aside from just being a fighter and loving the fight game, that's got to feel good inside, right?
Yeah, it's a very great feeling. I mean, it's a lot on me because a lot of people say, Chop, why are you fighting? For what? You should retire. I have passion for this.
You're a fighter.
If I had it my way, I can end my life in the ring. So I'm doing what I love to do at the end of the day.
That's all that matters, definitely. So as far as coming in here with all this hype, because you've been a legend in the industry, in the fight game, Do you feel more pressure with that? Is it more pressure than normal? Is this uncharted waters? Is it any different than going into a boxing fight that you've done 85 times?
It's a little different because this is new to me. It's bare knuckle fighting. This is not a boxing match. I don't have no gloves on. And there's a lot of politics going to say, well, he's old, he should retire. Why is he doing it? Then they'll see what I do to Reggie. I'm like, damn, he really is what they say he is. He is a chop. He chopped him up.
Right. Well, what about as far as when you're training? I mean, I'm sure you've taken this into account. With boxing, you're blocking your face. You have a bigger part to block. You're getting less blocks. More punches could come in like that. Is this all the stuff you've taken into account?
Yeah, when he hit me, you're going to see a different fight.
I know that. And then as far as training your knuckles, you don't have the glove on. How are you training your knuckles for bare knuckle? Any different kind of training for that?
Yeah, we have 2 boards at the gym. I think one is called the Shinshu board that I'm punching.
Is it the Muay Thai board?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
The cloth one.
Yeah.
That tears your skin off.
Yeah. Let me see those knuckles. All right,
They're healing.
They're healing. I got one because I hit myself on the table. That's not for punching a board.
Oh,
It makes
okay.
me look tough, though. But so you're punching the boards, and was that hard for you to start conditioning the knuckles? Again, boxing's a different game as far as the gloves and all. Was that hard on your hands, or are you just doing it slowly in the right way?
I did it slowly in the right way, but as I continue to do it, I apply more pressure, and my punch is the right hook. And I was in camp in North Carolina last year. I was punching the Shinshu board, and I said, let me try my right hook. And I threw a couple of right hooks on the board, and the whole drywall caved in.
Did it really?
I posted it, yeah. So I know if I hit Reggie with that hook, it's curtains.
You could cave in, yeah. Now, as you're training and you're looking at this, a different beast you're walking into here, did it ever occur to you that, like, it could happen fast? I mean, Reggie knocks you down fast. It could. It's a new game for you, and Reggie's going to want to end it quick. You know that. I mean, come on, it's boxing. So, or excuse me, it's fighting. You want to end it quick too. You want to knock him out quick. That's what people love. So, as far as that, I mean, has your training changed other than your hands and stuff? As far as fighting Reggie, you watch tapes of him. What are you doing to just get ready for him? It's just him, not boxing, not fighting.
I got ready for Reggie because Reggie, he can box a little bit. But this ain't boxing once again. So we don't want to see you running, backing up.
He claims he doesn't run. He said that. He goes, you've seen me fight. I don't run.
Johnny Bedford made him back up and run.
Okay.
We can go toe-to-toe. Reggie can hit me. I can take a punch. I'm not worrying about Reggie hitting me.
Now, you talk about your age difference. You're talking about being a little older, and people, what is he doing? What is he doing? You have passion. You're still an amazing fighter. You're still a legend, so it's going to be awesome to watch you. But does the age difference concern you at all?
No.
No?
Not at all, because I'm not 46 years old.
I love it. How do you feel? How old do you feel?
26.
That's it. That's it. Well, we're looking forward to seeing you fight. As far as Reggie Barnett as a fighter, could you comment on that? How do you see him as a fighter when you watch him? Your thoughts?
He's a decent bare-knuckle fighter. He can be better. But as time comes, you will get better. But come tomorrow night, I'm just going to close the show.
It's probably really very surreal for Reggie watching you growing up, studying how amazing you were. Now he gets to be in the squared circle with you. So that's got to be an interesting thing. I mean, do you feel that as your career progressed, these are people that may have watched you growing up and looked up to you, and now you're standing across from them? Is that a strange feeling?
It's a strange feeling, but I think Reggie look across and look at me and be like, I don't know, should I really be doing this with him? Because he know what I bring to the table.
Oh, he does. He said that in the interview.
I hope he do.
He does. And I think we're all excited to see what you bring to the table. Again, that's going to be tomorrow night, BKFC.com, the BKTV app. We're looking forward to Chop Corley in the house. And I think I saw you signing autographs in the lobby. Did I see you sign some autographs?
Yep.
There's people here. They're excited to see you fight, man. We're in Mississippi, Biloxi for BKFC 16, the co-main event with me, who's dressed, by the way, before we get out of here, I have to compliment you. These colors are wonderful. And you have your own clothing line too, right?
Chop Corley.
I got to get some Chop Corley stuff,
Sure,
man.
no
Chop.
problem.
Is there a website we can hit or something for it?
That website is being built, but you can reach me on Instagram, Chop Corley, Chop 2019, and Little Chop has a page as well.
I love it, man. Well, I'm excited to not only wear your gear, but watch you fight tomorrow night, BKFC 16, co-main event here with the legend, Chop Corley. He's done it all. You've seen him, former champion. I saw the 12-rounder with Floyd Mayweather. There's so many other things I could talk about. We'd be here all day, but I appreciate the little bit of time. I know you got to go get ready for the fight tomorrow night, BKFC, BKTV app, BKFC.com. I'll say it again because I don't want you to miss this. Thanks for coming on, Chop. We appreciate it, man.
Appreciate it. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, bud.
Welcome to the world of Bare Knuckle TV. Watch every live Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship pay-per-view event for only $3.99 per month. Enjoy our all-new library of content, including unlimited access to the full archive of BKFC pay-per-views, behind-the-scenes access, exclusive BKFC original series, and additional live Bare Knuckle fights from around the globe. You can access it anywhere you want, anytime you want, instantly on most streaming devices. It's available right now on the Bare Knuckle TV app. Over 1,000 hours of on-demand content, uncut and uncensored. All here, anytime you want, anywhere you want, for only $3.99 a month. Subscribe now exclusively at bktvapp.com.
Yeah. I don't know if you heard that. I'm here with Boomaye, Arnold Adams. He is, a former BKFC champion. Not just a former. I want to get this right. Because I don't want to get the mic ripped out of my hands. I don't want to get slapped around. He is the first ever BKFC heavyweight champion.
Numero uno.
And there was a little discrepancy you may have seen on one of our broadcasts a while back, and I said the wrong thing. He was none too happy. And I'm actually sweating profusely sitting next to you right now. I'm not kidding. You seem like such a nice guy. But when you grabbed the mic, what BKFC was that? That was the one, I don't remember.
That was when Beltran fought. That was in Kansas.
Yeah, that was the one in Kansas. He grabs them. I didn't know. Was that staged? No, it wasn't staged. They just brought me in here. Or excuse me, I'm nervous, see? They just brought you in here, and I didn't even know I was going to be interviewing you, so this is very strange.
Here we go again.
So, well, here we go again. I know. It's all up to you, man. I don't want to get my face beat in. You got other faces to beat in this for this event. You don't have to worry about me.
Yeah, we're all right.
We're cool? Maybe?
Yeah, we're good.
All right, for now.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm very excited for your fight. Till the camera goes off, he throws me through a wall. We're very excited for your fight. It is an honor to have that first ever BKFC heavyweight champion here. I mean, you're the guy as we start off this sport that everyone's going to know forever. That's got to be an amazing feeling to be the first ever champ.
Very true. I was the first fight, first sanctioned fight as well. So there's a lot of firsts over here.
History book.
Yeah, I'm solidified, right?
You really are.
I'm in there.
So your fight coming up tomorrow, BKFC 16, available on the BKTV app at bkfc.com. When we look at it, you're taking on Bobo O'Bannon. Mm-hmm. So Bobo O'Bannon, his last outing against Sam Shoemaker probably wasn't his best, and we'll talk more about that in a minute. But as a fighter, Bobo O'Bannon, what are you looking at this fight? What are you visualizing? How's this fight going to go?
I don't know. I get asked this question all the time, and I don't never have like a vision or something that I see or the fight's. I just when the fight comes, or however the fight comes to me, is how I take it at the time. So the whole what's your game plan? I'll never really have a game plan.
Really?
It's just I react off of him. Whatever he throws me, whatever he gives me is what I'm going to work with.
So you just adapt. You're an adaptable fighter.
Facts.
That's really good because, I mean, to be able to do that, that's a talent like no other.
No, yeah.
I always ask that question, how do you visualize the fight? Because I like to get in your head, but that's
right.
actually smart
everybody
too.
like, I'm going to do this, or I'm going to knock him out, and then it doesn't going to happen. It doesn't happen that way, and everyone's looking at you like, I thought you said this was going to happen. No.
It's like when you're younger, I always say, and you were going out on a date with somebody, like a chick, and you're like, what am I going to do? You're nervous, you're first, and you're like, I'll talk about this, and it never happens.
It never happens. You just go with the flow.
Yeah.
Wherever it goes, you just follow the lead. Yeah.
And you get the best results that way usually.
Facts.
So as far as the Bobo O'Bannon fight, I bumped into Bobo O'Bannon. I was talking to Chris Lytle. He was on earlier about this. I saw him in the lobby. I'd never met Bobo. Mm-hmm. And I saw him. I did an interview with him before his fight with Shoemaker. It was just via Zoom, so I never met him in person. And his first words to me were, I'm ready. And I go, oh, good, you're ready. And he goes, I don't know where my head was last time against Shoemaker. He's like, but my head is in the right place. And I'm not going to lie to you, I saw it in his eyes. You could see the difference in the confidence in his eyes.
Okay.
So when a guy says something like that, I mean, I'm not a fighter. Does that play on your end at all? Like he's a completely different guy, he says this time.
He should be a different guy this time. I mean, he got pieced up by Sam Shoemaker. Now we know Sam's not a combo punches and bunches type of guy. He's a haymaker. He's got power. But for some reason, Sam put on a good show when he fought him. I mean, it was punches and bunches, and he was putting them together, and it worked. He says he's ready for this one. Okay, that's cool. I think what it is, he helped Chase Sherman get ready when he fought me, so he feels like he has some type of insight on
like
how
game
to be.
plan.
Right. He thinks he's got it figured out. But okay, that's cool. When I fought Chase, mentally, I wasn't there in the fight. There was a lot going on the week before the fight. I buried my grandma My other granny, the week of the fight, had a stroke. So it was a lot going on.
The week of the fight?
The week of the fight.
Wow.
That Monday of the week of the fight, she had a stroke.
It's heavy.
The day of the fight, my mom didn't make her flight because she was at the other funeral burying the first granny. So it was a lot going on. Mentally, I wasn't there.
You can't be. Even if you want to be, you just can't.
No.
Yeah.
But he's ready. Okay, I'm just as ready. I came in 20 pounds underweight. I've never been. I think the lightest I've been is maybe 258.
What are you doing to cut all that weight?
Putting in the work.
Yeah, more than ever before.
More than ever before.
Do you feel like this fight coming up tomorrow night, BK TV app, BKFC.com? Do you feel like this fight is almost a statement fight for you to come out and say, look, this is who I am. This is the fighter I am. I'm here. Don't forget about me. I'm your first BKFC champ. Give me the respect I deserve. Is that where you're at?
Without a doubt. I mean, I went 3-0, then I lost, and then I disappeared for almost 2 years, injuries or whatever, and time off. But it's a new division now.
Yeah.
So a lot of these guys, like Burns said, this is not the division you had in the tournament. There's some new heavyweight sharks in here. So I got to put on a show tomorrow and show them that I'm not a pushover, that I'm really am what y'all think I am. And there's a reason I changed my name to the Boogeyman. The reason being, I feel like no one in the heavyweight division says my name. Like the Boogeyman, they scared of the Boogeyman. I feel like they scared to say my name.
I like that.
Now, I will give credit to Beltran because he consistently has called me out.
I was in the ring when he did it at Squared Circle. Yeah,
he's consistently called me out. And I get it. I got one over him, so he wants that rematch. But other than that, no one else says my name. Everyone dances around the question when I'm brought up.
Well, let's talk about when you get past Bobo Bannon, if that happens tomorrow. You're talking about Joey. Obviously, you're going to want a world title fight at some point. But what is your next step at BKFC when you get past Bobo?
I get past Bobo, I'm coming for Beltran.
Yeah.
I'm the number one contender. I mean, I don't know if we're going to follow the Police Gazette rankings or how these rankings work, but according to him, I'm the number one contender right now. So if this is my first fight back and I run through Bobo, what's next? Why do I have to fight somebody underneath me in order to fight Beltran when I'm next in line?
So that's where you're looking to go.
Yeah.
And I ask this question a lot too. It has nothing to do with the fight that's coming up tomorrow on the BKTV app, but I always wonder, I mean, it's a special kind of person, a special kind of athlete that does bare knuckle fighting championship, that does bare knuckle fighting. I mean, you can't, mentally strong. Is that the Hall of Fame ring there?
Yeah.
Show it off, man. Show it off. See,
Okay.
that's like ADD.
See?
Look at
Yeah.
that. We got a Hall of Fame. Oh, that figure too. That figure too.
I mean,
I like
it's
that.
on
That's
that.
cute. That's the boogeyman there. That's what he's doing. I should have known better. But so let's talk about that. As far as I lost my train of thought because I saw your big shiny ring. I'm sorry. I think I was going to the fact that it takes a special kind of fighter, a special kind of athlete to do this. So bare knuckle fighting championship. Why bare knuckle for you when you got involved a couple years back?
Honestly, it was my plan behind it was to make it like a backdoor entrance into the boxing world because I don't have an amateur background, so they wasn't really giving me what I wanted. Like no promoters would mess with me. I didn't have an amateur background. It's like, oh, you're too old. You don't have a background. We're not going to waste our time with you. So I'm like, all right, cool. Let me do this, and then maybe this will open up the door for me. But it never did. So I ended up staying in here. I grew up fighting. From like the time I was like 3 years old, I have cousins who were telling me like, since you were 2 years old, you were always been a fighter, and now you're getting paid to do it. I mean, I enjoy fighting. I don't have no ill will behind it, no bad feelings toward anybody. I just like to go out there, throw hands, and then after a while, we can go have a drink.
So when you're in there, you enjoy it. I mean, what's the feeling you get when you're in there bashing another combatant in the face or getting hit? Hopefully not, but what's the feeling it's giving you in there? I know that one guy told me one time it was almost peaceful for him. He enjoyed it so much.
I'm not gonna say all of that. It's just I'm a gamesman. So it's really just who's the better man. That's how I look at it. We're going to go out there, we're going to dance, we're going to do what we're supposed to do. Who put the work in, who has the mental ability, the physical ability, who can, and it's almost like a pissing contest, if you will.
I understand that.
Yeah.
So getting back to what you were saying earlier about Bobo Bannon, and when I saw him saying he's ready this time, he's focused. I mean, do you think that's a problem for a fighter to even say something like that, to say that, this time I'm ready? Admitting the last time he wasn't ready, he was just being real.
I'll never say that. Like I feel like I'm more ready this time than I was last time. If you train right for the fight, you did your 4 weeks, your 6 weeks, 8 weeks, however long your camp was, you're ready. No matter what you feel like, you're ready. But to go out and tell people you're ready, that's a sign of you're lacking confidence in my eyes. Yeah,
that's what I was thinking too. As a fighter, that was one of the things I thought. But I tell you, I saw his eyes; they look completely different. So I'm actually really excited to see your fight. I mean, I know we have main, co-main, but I think you guys are kind of up there too. You know what I mean? A lot of people talking about your fight. We got the first ever BKFC heavyweight champion with us, and you saw the ring Hall of Famer, Boomaye, the Boogeyman, Arnold Adams. I like that name.
They scared to
Did
say
you come
it.
up with that?
I did. Like some months went by. I'm like, man, nobody's saying my name. Everybody, every time they ask him about me, they dance around the question. Oh, he needs to have a fight bet. He needs to do this. He needs to do that. But would you fight me is the question.
Yeah,
like that's what they were asking you. Why won't you say yes or no to fight
It's
me?
got to piss you off, right?
All right, so now y'all scared to say my name like the Boogeyman. Yeah. So now it's Boomaye the Boogeyman.
Yo, Boomaye the Boogeyman, how you stay so calm? You're so calm. You're so cool. You're so collective. When it would anger me that nobody's saying my name. I'd be so. I honestly, I'd have a chip on my shoulder. I'd be pissed off. Are you pissed off a little bit inside?
Yeah and no.
That's normal. I mean, why?
Yeah,
no?
I mean, it's normal. It's honestly normal. I rarely get called out. I don't know why. I don't know. Maybe because people can't figure me out. They can't. They don't know my style. I don't know. I can't tell you what's going on.
Well, it's got to, in fighting, that's got almost have to be a badge of honor that you don't get called out because they're afraid to fight you. Maybe.
Yeah,
that's how I look
but
at
damn, shit. I can figure it out or something. Make it happen.
He's gonna want to come on every day. I keep building him up. So yeah, they're scared of you, Boogeyman. But that's a great name to come up with, and I'm excited to see your fight against Bobo Bannon. That's gonna happen tomorrow night. BK TV app, BKFC.com. If you want to check that out, you definitely should check it out because it is going to be an awesome event. And we're looking forward to it, man. Thanks for coming on, and thank you for not hitting me, beating me up, stealing my mic. And can we shake? Are we cool? I don't even know.
I got you, man. I got you.
You still make me nervous. Like I want to say that before I let you go. Like when you can go on the app and watch this. I did not know what was happening. I just knew, and then I realized it was you, and I'm like, what is he talking about? Oh, I'm on your thing. What is he talking about? And then I was like, this guy's going to kill me. And I'm like, but I need my mic back. So it was a big thing. I had about 20 conversations going on in my head. And what you don't realize, I don't think we ever talked about this. So if you're just tuning in, he attacked me a couple of shows ago out of the blue. There was actually, in Kansas, there was actually armed security guards.
Yes, I saw them.
If that, God forbid, that would have gone the wrong way.
I saw them. I mean, and I get it because on the screens, they just see me walk up and snatch the mic, so instantly they're like, "Oh, code red, we got to get back there."
They were all back there.
Yeah, when I gave you back the mic and stepped around the camera, there was like maybe.
I took that mic back. I should be quiet. I'm going to get my ass kicked. It was a joke. No, you gave me the mic back. But I noticed that it was funny because they all said to me, "This is what I thought was so funny." Again, I didn't even know you that well at the time. They go. The security guard's like, that was great. Was that part of the show? And I'm like, no, that wasn't part of the show. No. And then later on, I was still back there, and you came walking back, and it was like they were following you. The security guard,
they were
they
ready.
were all over you.
They were ready for it the second time.
Well, I know you're ready for your big fight tomorrow night against Bobo Bannon. Yeah. Again, BKTV at BKFC.com. Right. The first ever heavyweight champion here, BKFC. Number one. The Hall of Famer, you saw his ring. It's going to be awesome. Thanks for coming on, man. I appreciate it.
Thank you, man.
Friends forever.
I got you, bro.
We'll be right back.
Tiger Life is not about race or religion, black or white, young or old, male or female. It's not about where you live or where you're from. It's about finding your why in life. Tiger Life is a way of life. It's a purpose, a light, the future. We all have a story to tell, so let's tell it. It's time to be heard. Just remember, we may not be able to rewrite our story, but we sure as hell can change the ending. Tiger Life. Energy never tasted so good.
Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship 16 live Friday, March 19th. Watch as Leonard Bad Boy Garcia aims to end the undefeated streak of Joe Hitman Elmore. And Chop Corley takes on the educated hands of Reggie Barnett. Plus, former heavyweight champ Arnold Adams returns to face Bobo O'Bannon. Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship 16, Friday, March 19th, 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific, only on the Bare Knuckle TV app. Download it now, BKFC.com.
Tiger Life is not.
All right, we're back. This is awesome. We are live from Fight Week in Biloxi, Mississippi. BKFC 16. I told you I didn't know who was going to be on next. This is so cool because people are just coming up one by one. But we got, I can't believe it, he just walked up. I grabbed him, I'm like, get over here, man. Oh, main event tomorrow night, BKTV app, BKFC.com. The legend, Leonard Bad Boy Garcia here with us. You're fighting Joe Elmore, and we're all really excited to see how that fight goes. How are you feeling today? You look great.
Man, I feel fantastic. Best everything, man. I feel good. I'm in a good place. I just, I feel like it's time to shine. It's time to go out there and let it go, man. And with a guy like Joe, what could go? I mean, what can't go right? You know what I mean? Right. It's going to be fantastic, man. I mean, it's two guys we both don't want to back up. We both want to assert our dominance, and it couldn't be better.
Yeah, well, you say a guy like Joe, and the utmost respect for Joe. I've seen what that man's done in the squared circle, but how about a guy like you? Yeah. Joe's got to be thinking the same way. I don't care how confident Joe is. I don't care what a killing machine he is in that ring, in the squared circle, I should say. But a guy like you, it's almost like you guys are mirror images of each other. So the way I look at it is it's Joe fighting Garcia, Garcia fighting Joe, like looking at each other. You guys will take shots, you give shots, you don't play around. No. So he's got to be a little concerned with you. Don't be modest.
You know, I mean, like I said, you know, I told you guys, there's a difference between being scared and having fear. Mm-hmm. I have no fear. Mm-hmm. But I'm, you know,
you have to be a little scared,
right? You know, and you know, like I said, man, you always the storybook. You know, I see everything as like a storybook. The story is, how do I act when he hits me? How does he act when I hit him? And we got a story to write, and you guys are going to be front row for it, and it's going to be fantastic.
It's going to be a hell of a story to watch. It's going to be a bestseller.
I think so, man. I just, you know, like I said, utmost respect for the guy. You know, he's going to try to punch through a brick wall. And
you're that brick wall?
Yeah, and I'm going to try to do the same thing. Let's see which one of us deteriorates faster.
Right. Now you got power. We've seen it. Speak on Joe's power. Joe Elmore has power. I mean, you're watching. He would knock Tom Shoaf back, and Tom would like hit the mat on his ass, and then kind of squirm back a little more.
Yeah.
And then shake his head like, what just happened? Why is this going on? Yeah. So speak on Joe's power. He has a lot of power.
Yeah. He's very explosive. Got that really good. You know, it's dynamite, man. I mean, you know, at the end of the day, we both throw bombs. I think size and stature, you know, he's got a wider stance, a little bit of a, you know, he generates a lot of power, man. He's like a washing machine, you know what I mean? Yeah. You know, I generate my power differently. So it's going to be, you know, it's definitely going to be a hell of a fight, man. I'm super excited just because, like you said, I get to fight someone that fights the way I fight.
It's crazy.
So I finally get to see it across from myself, and you know, it's a dream. You dream about fighting yourself. Mm-hmm. I do. You know, I would always think like, man, how would that fight go? How would it, you know, what would I do against me? And you know, it's a crazy thought. And now I get a chance to go out there and hopefully, you know, hopefully I hold up. Hopefully he holds up, and we give people something they've never seen before. Oh, yeah. And that's. I always want people to watch my fights and say, God dang it, man, every time that dude performs, every time. You know, my last fight, you know, I took an eye injury.
Yeah.
And
that's not easy. We were just talking about that.
Yeah, I kept fighting through it. You know, I kept trying, and I never wanted that to happen again. So I went to the gym, I redefined myself, and I made sure, I don't care if I only have one eye out there, I'm going to keep fighting.
I know you will, man. Yeah. That's what makes you the fighter you are. It's true. It's so true. So you talk about you've always had the dreamt of fighting yourself. Joe fights himself, kind of. I mean, you've seen the clips on Instagram. We've talked about this in other interviews where he punches himself in the head.
I got a good story for you.
Oh, please.
So UFC 69, I'm fighting Roger Huerta.
Okay.
Dwayne Ludwig's in the back warming me up. He says, Leonard, shadow box for a little bit. Now, I'm not the most technical guy back then, you know, and I was kind of, you know, excited, and I was getting all crazy. And I chunk a 1-2 hook uppercut, man, and I punched myself in the mouth so hard, busted my whole lip.
Oh, my God.
And I'm bleeding, and Dwayne turns around and looks at me. He was like, did you just punch yourself? And I said, it was an accident, but I hit myself. And he was like, well, he's not going to hit you harder than you just hit you. So we're good. We're good. And, you know, he reminded me of that story just the other day when he told me, I seen that video of that dude punching himself. Tell him you punch yourself too.
Yeah, you were the OG punch yourself.
Yeah. So, you know, I mean, you know, he's definitely wound up really tight.
He's an animal.
Yeah.
Let's call it what it is. I'll say it.
And, you know, to me, it's I mean, man, that energy, we're gonna feed off of each other, and you know that's what it is, man. We're just gonna go out there and we're gonna
fight,
on.
Man.
Yeah.
And well, you have the crowd that's gonna be there. You have your energy in the ring. It's gonna be insane. Let's talk. Kind of shift away from the fight a little bit.
Okay.
Now, we both expect this fight. And I think Joe has said it too. It's going to be a banger, like we know. You're going to expect, you know, it's a little couple lash. You'll still be pretty, I'm sure, afterwards. But I don't know.
I'm married, so it doesn't matter.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you about your wife. I mean, as far as she knows what you're facing, you're a professional fighter. She knows what she married. But is this a different kind of feeling for her and you? Have you talked about going into the Joe Elmore fight, knowing you're fighting yourself, so there might be more damage than normal?
She was there for the first Korean zombie fight. Me and him went to the hospital together afterwards, and we were both pretty battered. I had a broken hand, and she's just along for the ride. She knows that this is what I love. I do have 2 little babies at home, 2 little girls, and of course my oldest 2. So I have 4 babies at home, but they're just, they're so used to it. This is 21 year career. They've seen everything that they got to see. And if I come home and look like the Elephant Man for a couple of days and I win, everything's good.
Yeah, right.
If I lose, then it hurts me. So I'm not even thinking about losing.
I don't want you to think about that, but you brought it up. So I've never been a fighter. I've never had a loss like that. You train your ass off, and then you lose, and then you go home to your family. Who's going to love you no matter what? But does that feel like, do you feel like not a failure? I don't want to say that. How do you feel?
I've been taught this from the beginning. My grandfather who raised me, and he's my hero, man.
Yeah, I love my grandpop's my hero too, man. I lost him. He's a
man.
wonderful man. I feel
Oh man, he's still with us, but he
you still have him? Good for you.
he did a great job. He taught me from the very beginning. I don't care if you win, I don't care if you lose, but if somebody picks at you and they push you to that limit, you give them everything you've got, and it doesn't matter.
It's true.
And I guarantee you one thing: there's lots of respect in there now. There's going to be tons of respect afterwards.
Oh, you know it.
And I'm not going to lose. I'm coming into this thing. I'm going to win it, and I'm going to cement myself as the #1 guy in the world at 165. And I'm give everybody out there the biggest target that they want. And I hear guys calling people out here, calling people out there. Joe called me out.
Yeah, he wanted this fight big time. I mean, he wanted. I think it's also to prove himself, and he knows the fighter you are. Like you said, your mirror images, and I think this was the fight he wanted. I mean, I heard him repeatedly say, respectfully he did it.
Yeah.
But I heard him repeatedly say it.
Absolutely, man.
What's that feel like to get called out? Is that an honor?
Fantastic. When you get if the guy's ranked #1 in the world and he's calling you out, what does he think of you?
Yep.
So man, when he said it, the hair on my head, back of my neck stood up. I was like, wow. Yeah. We've got to do this. I called Dave Feldman right afterwards. I was like, yep, you setting that up? Let's do it. And he was like, well, we're working on a tournament. I was like, I don't care about anything else. He's got that #1 spot. At the end of the day, that leads to a title, which I think should be put on the line. We both made 165. I came in 0.7 under at 140 or 164.3. He came in at 165, so I think put the title on the line, man. Let us go get it. But either way, the title is at #1 spot, and that's what I'm fighting for.
Hey, man, title or not, bragging rights for this too. Because again, once you defeat Joe, if that happens, if it goes your way, you kind of said you're open to whatever. But is there a certain thing that you'd want to do? Where would your career head next with BKFC if you beat Joe tomorrow?
I have to have that belt. I have to have that belt. I have to have it, and the belt is just the target that they put on you. And like I said, the biggest target out there. Everybody, the guys that are coming up, the guys that are already there, everybody's looking for that title. So give us a champion, BKFC. Give us a belt holder. Make it me. I'm willing to take on any challenges out there. So anybody that's calling people out, anybody that's doing anything, I'm open and willing, man. Just come, make the weight, and I'll fight you.
Man, somebody's hungry, trying to get fed. I love this. He's excited. So BKFC 16, main event, Leonard Bad Boy Garcia, living legend here. He's done a lot in fighting. He's done it all. Taking on Joe Hitman Elmore, and it's going to be a barn burner. These guys don't know how to back up. They both have power. We're looking forward to that. Before we get out of here, I know some people have asked in the chat and stuff. We've talked about this before. Bad Boy, but you're the nicest guy in the world here, like sitting here with you, mild-mannered, chill. How'd you get the nickname Bad Boy? I always like to hear that kind of stuff.
So I was 19 years old. I was fighting for the Ring of Fire. My manager was Finn Bean. He ran the promotion. And I had fought there before. I had won a tournament, and then I was going to fight for the title. And this lady that was sitting behind him at a restaurant says, hey, do you have that little boy fighting from Texas on the card? He's such a nice kid. And then he was like, the little boy, and he was like, from Texas. He said, oh, you're talking about Leonard. Yeah, he does have a baby face. He does look like a little boy. And she was like, oh, my goodness, he's such a bad boy. I walk out to the fight. I have no idea. I'm walking out, and they announce, Leonard, bad boy Garcia. And I was like, is that me? Is that me? And they're like, yeah, go, walk. And I was like,
What?
so it's stuck.
That was how you got your nickname, that easy?
Then on, yeah. So it was a lady at a restaurant in Denver, Colorado. Gave me my nickname when I was 19 years old, man. So it's kind of cool.
Wow. Maybe she's watching. Hi, lady from Denver, Colorado.
Yeah. How are you? Thank you for the nickname. It stuck well. Thank you.
No royalties, though. Anyway, we're looking forward to it. Again, I'll say BKTV app, BKFC.com. You're taking on Joe Elmore. Bad Boy's your nickname, but hopefully you'll have a new nickname after this, and you'll be calling yourself champion at some point here in BKFC, man.
That's right.
Thank you for coming on. I wish you a lot of luck, man.
Thank you, buddy.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
We're going to get ready to wrap this up. Look, we're live at Fight Week in Mississippi, Biloxi. It's amazing here. You can cut the tension with a knife between some of the fighters. People are in the lobby. People are signing autographs. People are talking about what they're expecting in the fights. It's a scene. It really is here. A lot going on. So you got to tune in tomorrow night. It's going to be amazing. Of course, BKTV app, BKFC.com.
Welcome to the world of Bare Knuckle TV. Watch every live Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship pay-per-view event for only $3.99 per month. Enjoy our all-new library.
Nicolay said watch it on BKTV app at BKFC.com. But for this week, thanks for joining us. And we're live from Biloxi. We'll see you tomorrow night when we knuckle up together.
Welcome to the world of Bare Knuckle TV. Watch every live Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship pay-per-view event for only $3.99 per month. Enjoy our all-new library of content, including unlimited access to the full archive of BKFC pay-per-views, behind-the-scenes access, exclusive BKFC original series, and additional live bare knuckle fights from around the globe. You can access it anywhere you want, anytime you want, instantly on most streaming devices. It's available right now on the Bare Knuckle TV app. Over 1,000 hours of on-demand content, uncut and uncensored. All here, anytime you want, anywhere you want, for only $3.99 a month. Subscribe now exclusively at bktvapp.com.